Good afternoon, you guys. My name is Kristani Shen, and in today's video, the topic of discussion will be how to romanticize your life. Again, the topic of discussion is how to romanticize your life, right? Okay, so for this video, as in other videos, I'm always inspired by when I look at like the topics that I look on YouTube, and I usually want to put my own spin to it, or if I'm looking them up, I will usually take notes and see what I gathered from what I saw. So for today's video, how to romanticize your life, we're gonna get right into it, right? So the first thing I notice about when I'm watching these videos, whenever I go and research how to romanticize your life for purposes for myself, what I realize is that they have a few things in common, right? For instance, I saw one where she was like dressed up like somebody in like Great Britain, like one of those old English novels, and she took it like a literal sense of how to romanticize your life, right? But for many of us, we don't have to go that far, although if some of us are into anime and stuff like that, that is quite okay. So when I'm thinking about how to romanticize your life, I'm thinking about the thing that I'm thinking about is I did take key points and key notes when I was watching these videos, right? And I'm gonna show you what I gathered from it, and I'm gonna add a few tips and points here and there that I got away from them, right? The first thing I noticed is that a lot of romanticizing videos, they have to deal with like slowing down. Okay, I know that in New York, where I am right now, New York City, a lot of things is just quick. Going to the subways quick, and sometimes I'll tell myself I'm not going to rush to the subway, I'm gonna take my time. But by the time you're in the subway, because everyone else is rushing, you find that you're rushing and you don't even have a hectic day that day. It's a Saturday morning or it's a Sunday morning and you're going out and you find yourself, you're rushing. And it has to do with the rhythm of the city, right? So what I see with these romanticization videos, so to continue the topic, is romanticizing your life, right? So a key thing I noticed in these videos that they have in common is that it's like it's their normal life, but it's slowed down. Like if your normal life was on 1, then it'll be slowed down by 0.5, right? If you take, like, for instance, a task like the morning, and you take like 30 minutes to get prepared and everything is hectic, when you romanticize your life according to these videos, you'd add either an extra 30 minutes or however long you would want. If you want to shave off like 2 hours from your sleep so that you can get ready. What I noticed about these videos also is that it has a lot to do with the morning routine, right? Because the morning routine will set you up for failure or for success, right? So to romanticize your life, I'm gonna say you have to wake up early. That's the first step. You have to wake up early, right? And the things that you would do, whether it's taking your morning coffee or your morning tea, or like your ritualistic beauty treatment where you're just washing your face, gently washing your face, or taking a nice hot bath if it's winter, or cool bath if it's summer, whichever it is, what you're doing is that you're slow pacing everything, right? A recent video I was watching, it was by this dermatologist, and she was saying how she noticed that when people wash their face, what they do is that they're literally scrubbing their face, right? They would scrub their face. They wax off the makeup. They wax off whatever's off their face. They rub it off, right? Very abrasive. And she said the reason she knows that people are doing this is because they don't have time, right? because you're doing fast, you don't have time, you're rushing to get everything done. But what she recommended, and I started to do this, and it makes a night and day difference, right? She says, and she said this, she said, when you're dealing with your skin, right, what you want to do is you want to set up a good amount of time, so that you're not rubbing and tearing at the skin, right? This is something I would do, and it's because I don't have any, like I just didn't have enough time, right? Like your teeth also, gentle pressure goes a long way than just rubbing and brushing, and you're scraping off the enamel of your teeth, right? So, and the thing about this dermatologist that I love is that from her skin, you could tell she practices what she preaches, right? Because her skin looked like it looked flawless, right? So a lot of things I noticed about these morning routines, and to add to what this dermatologist said, is that when you're doing your morning routine, like first with the brushing your teeth, taking a shower, if you have to, and if you can, take a 30-minute shower, right? Take a 30-minute shower, take your time, and when you're washing your skin, be as gentle as possible, right? Be as gentle as possible. When you're brushing your teeth, be as gentle as possible, right? Because a lot of times, before I heard from this dermatologist, what I would do is that I would just be so abrasive, and I would get these marks all over my face because of how rough I would be, because I had no time, right? I didn't make any time, right? And when I would brush my teeth, I was like literally like hacking it off because I just wanted to do it quickly, right? But when like a few years back, I learned that gentleness is much better than just being rough. It really helped with my teeth to become stronger, because when you're being rough with your teeth especially, it damages the enamel, and like when you get in contact with hot and cold foods, it stings the teeth because the enamel is off, you know? It's being scraped off when you brush it too roughly, right? Too vigorously. So then another thing I noted from these like romanticizing your life, or becoming the main character of your life, which is another term they use, is that a lot of them are minimalist, right? Or if they're not minimalist, which I don't really care for, they practice being organized, right? And I'm owing this being organized is probably because if you have like your clothes ironed from the night before, if you have your meal prepped from the day before, it makes things a lot more convenient, right? If you have the tea or the coffee ingredients already set up, you just put it in the coffee maker, or you just take it out and prepare it the nice way that you want to, right? Or if everything's organized, like, and you're doing something where you're writing for your next blog, like I would do, or you preparing for your next meeting, I would guess that the reason why this is so good to romanticizing your life is that when you're around like stuff that's cluttered, it messes with your mind, right? Like I'm a person, I could deal with mess, right? I could deal with a little mess, but when things are clean, your mind is clean. You're not wondering, oh, when you're writing, where's my pen? You lost your pen, and then you're looking for your journal, you lost your journal because everything is just messed up. You don't have any clear set place for anything because things are just everywhere, right? You finish with one thing and it's lost, you finish with another, it's lost, because everything is just disheveled, right? So being organized, that's one thing I notice about romanticizing your life, right? They slow down the pace and they're very organized, or they practice a level of organization mixed with minimalism, right? Another thing I noticed with these romanticizing videos is that, like, if you have something like a favorite coffee shop, right, they urge you to take small baby steps in like tackling things that are different, right? Like, okay, what I mean by this step is that, for instance, when you're romanticizing your life, okay, I'm gonna go to this point, right? If you took if you were drinking your morning coffee, right? And you're drinking your morning coffee and you would just drink it down, and while you're running to the subway station, they would tell you, like, one thing you would do is that you would slow down and you would enjoy each sip of the coffee, right? So in this way you'd be digesting your life, right? So when you're folding your clothes, you would sit down and fold your clothes, right? You wouldn't be running, folding your clothes, doing other things like 3 tasks at a time, right? Because actually what you would be doing is you would be doing 1 task at a time, right? And while romanticizing your life, I don't know how possible it is, because life is kind of busy, but I will definitely romanticize my life, because there's certain aspects of it, like unitasking, like not doing 8 different things, which you really can't do, because your brain only can focus on really 1 thing at a time. Because when you're taking 3 tasks, what your brain is really doing is it's taking a break between each task, and it's going back, and it can't really do any of them well, because you're just going back and forth every 2 or 3 minutes, and your brain can't function the best at its best when you're doing 3 things, you know. It could focus more when you do 1 to 2 things at a time, you know. The more simpler the better, you know. And another thing I notice about these romanticizing videos is that what they do is that they urge you, like, if you have like a feeling where you're like, oh, okay, they urge you to be a little bit more adventurous, right? Like, for example, if you're a person, you have your job is on 1 part of town, and you usually go to 1 diner or 1 coffee shop, what it would do is say, oh, turn to the next street or go to the next town and get your coffee from there, you know. It urges you to take small, calculated little risks that you like to do. Like, for instance, if you're somebody, you pick something that you like to do, right? For me, I love to do yoga, right? Or slow movement. And it would say that instead of practicing at home, opt to take a class a week, or a class twice a week, or twice a month, where you're around like a different neighborhood or a park that you've never been before. So it shows you how to take small, calculated risks. And the reason I really like romanticizing your life is that, you know how self-help is really great. Self-help is great, right? I love self-help. But usually what I find about self-help is that it tells you to take it gives you a handful of stuff to do. Like, for example, taking a different route to work, a different route, like when you're going to exercise, and it overdoes it, right? So that if you're somebody who's introverted, or you're somebody that's shy, and you're going in for the kill, you would actually get overwhelmed really quickly, right? So what I find about romanticizing your life that I really like about these videos is that it really does it little by little. So it's like, even somebody who's an extra super extra introvert wouldn't get scared by it, because it's just the things that does, first of all, with the minimalism, or with the things with organization, or it's being slow and deliberate with everything. I would think introverts would love that. And then when it tells you to slowly go, and like, if you like things, like you like a bookstore, try a different bookstore, it tells you to take slow risks that you like to do, but in a calculated and slow way that gets you used to putting yourself out there, right? So that's what I really like about romanticizing your life, is that it's not like a thing where you feel like, damn, I'm not me, I'm just a complete fraud, because I'm just doing these things, they're so quick, and I'm just talking to people all the time in the supermarket, and I'm not happy about it, because I'm not used to talking to people all the time, and I'm putting myself out there too much, I'm doing things too quickly, and this is not me, and I feel like a complete fraud, you know? It's not like that. That's one thing I could say I really appreciate about romanticizing your life, or main character energy, is that you you just a more slow pace with it, right? So that it's done in a way that is really non-threatening. Okay, aspect of romanticizing your life that I really like is that it tells you to play with the decor of your home, right? Which is something I could really get into, right? Play with the decor of your home, play with your style, which is something I really like, right? It tells you to try new things, but try them in a way that's very slow, right? So that it's like baby steps. So somebody who gets easily excited by too much change, right? So with the decorum of the home, like, you know, fall is here, time for leaves to fall, autumn, the beautiful orange and red and yellow trees, yellow leaves falling down, characteristics of fall, pumpkin spice latte. It says what in these romanticization videos, what I really appreciate is that it'll say like if you have like scents that you like, right? Like I know fall is characterized by that earthy, like delicious latte smells, the smells of pumpkin and I don't know, chestnut, because Christmas is right around the corner, pine, I think, like pine and that rich pumpkin, delicious pecan pie, and like those delicious aromas of food. It says to play up with fragrance, right? Fragrance and candles in your home as decorum. Things with oranges, like orange candles, because I know like Bed Bath and Body usually goes crazy. They go nuts with the candles and stuff. They go nuts with the perfumes, with the scents, in the like the aroma, like the humid, like the things that spray the scents or stuff in the home. So they go nuts with that in the fall, right? In the like holiday season, right? They go nuts with stuff like that, right? And I know people, once Halloween is coming, they like to put pumpkins and orange stuff and put like more orange, black and like gray decorum, because it's like that season of fall, the brown, the earthy brown, the cornucopia type of symbol, because that's symbolizing the harvest of fall, you know. Oh god, I love fall. My god, fall is here, fall is here. But anyway, it's like it plays homage to the season, right? It plays to the homage of the season of fall, right? Or because I'm doing this during the fall, that's why I'm saying paying homage to the season of fall. And then finally you guys, another point I would say to romanticizing your life in the love life sector is that it says to make calculated risks when getting to know people, right? So then if you're a person, you're single and you enjoy being single, that would be great, right? Then you would take calculated risk in the area of, I guess, trying to meet new people friendship wise. Like you would do like calculated risk, like once or twice a week, once or twice a month. Do something that you like to do, like I don't know, like a festival, something that you like low-key or high, something that you, if you're outgoing, once that's non-threatening, you could spend as little time you want there, where you would go and meet new people. Or you could go on like, I don't know, meet Bumble BFF or something, right? Something very slow paced, because what I love about these romanticization videos, as I said before, is that everything is done at your own pace. You don't feel like you're being rushed, right? Which is pretty cool. And then for the last part, which is about like meeting like a potential, like if you're a guy you want to, or girl you want to start dating, the way that romanticizing your life or main character energy would go is that you start, number one, you change the look, right? You change the look, right? You would get the things that you love, right? The colors that you love, that you get your own style, right? In which you only would wear the things that you absolutely love, right? That's main character energy, right? And what I would suggest to this is that you would definitely take your time with this one, right? With your style, you take your time with this one, right? So I would say that every week you buy one piece of clothing, because you really are not about like buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't care about. You want to take your time with this, because this is, you're building a wardrobe, right? You're building a wardrobe so that every week you get 2 pieces, like maybe 1 piece of jewelry, a shoe, like a shoes or something, and you would build the repertoire over time, right? Or you could do 1 like medium like overhaul of clothes, where you would get like something where it's like 5 pieces here, 4 pieces, like a 4-piece, 5 pieces of shirts, 3 pants, 3 shoes, 2 pieces of jewelry, and a rotation of earrings, because you just start to change the style. You get 1 small haul, right? And then but I would really recommend that if you're doing style to get the main character energy, what you would have to do is you get 1 piece every other week, right? And what I want you to do is, like, as you're getting the pieces, you're only getting stuff that you absolutely love, so that when you're getting the pieces, it's not like I'm just getting a whole bunch of crap that I don't even care about, right? Just to get crap, right? You're getting stuff that you only love, right? And if you guys are people that already have a wardrobe and you just want to clear it off and just pick the stuff that you love and throw away the rest or give away the rest, that's also great too, because what it's doing is that you're beginning to use this, see and weeding out the things that you do love, and you're making a space, what I'm saying earlier, right? So that once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks, what you would do is you say, what do I most need? I want to like decorate with my wardrobe. If it's like earrings, you get only earrings that you absolutely love, that only absolutely speak to you, or something that you're feeling that you feel like I could wear this all the time, right? So then that your wardrobe over a year or 2 years, it'd be filled with stuff that only you love, right? And not just a whole bunch of stuff you keep buying and buying a whole bunch of stuff in bulk that you really just don't care about, right? You really want your wardrobe to build over time to things that you really love, right? And as you're doing this, you would also weed off like the first stuff that you don't really like, right? If you're changing your wardrobe, things that you never wear, things that have holes in them that you don't like, things that you've outgrown, styles that you don't no longer care for, and if there's stuff that you love, then you would absolutely keep them, right? And then the last thing would be maintenance, right? You would maintain these clothes, you would maintain your house, maintain the decorum, right? A lot of time when I say overhaul is not needed if you keep maintaining things, right? For instance, if you're a person, I would say, who loves to clean your home, let's go with cleaning your home, you would keep doing maintenance every single day and rotation of things that are done over time. Like you would do like maintenance a lot, right? But if you're a person, you never change your wardrobe, you don't really like cleaning the home that much, like when you do decide to do it, you would have to do an overhaul, because you let stuff like build up, like trash everywhere, or your wardrobe, it changed to a point where you don't even recognize that, you don't even like it anymore. So once you would have to do the change, you can't do maintenance now, because what you need now to do is overhaul, right? You would have to do a whole overhaul and like flip over of change, right? At least for the initial stage. And then as you finish with the overhaul of cleaning your home or changing your whole wardrobe, I finished a medium overhaul, then over the next weeks you would do 1 piece at a time, 1 piece at a time of things you're picking out and actually relishing, right? You want your pieces to be carefully picked out, right? Stuff that fit you very well, stuff that the prints that you love, and the colors that you really like to wear, or just if it's something simplistic and it's just the thing that you really love to do, right? So these are the things I love about the romanticizing of your life, is that they really are very doable, right? Especially if you're doing the maintenance aspects of it, right? You don't let yourself get to a point where everything has to be done flipped over because you haven't been taking care of, you know, the things you need to take care of so that your life could function, you know. Let me do an anecdote, right? An anecdote would be cool. So then one thing is that I did say that my style changed the fall of 2008, right? So that spring 2009, I began to radically change my style, right? And part of this, the reason why this changed is because I just really I really was inspired by being in school, and I would see the fashions, and it just really inspired me, right? I mentioned the Cullens also, right? In my last video, entitled style, right? I mentioned, okay, how I got into the style. But one thing I have to tell you that I noticed about once I changed my style is that when you change your style, especially to things that you really love, it doesn't have to be particularly in style, but it just has to be stylish for you, right? Once I got a style that I particularly love, I began to really love my life, right? Because when you're paying attention to your style, and like, which has to do a lot with romanticizing your life and main character energy, you'll start to notice that when you are admiring the Cullens, as I said, or you admiring other people from afar, like before, like I would always be like looking at other like young girls in my college at that time, and I'd be like, oh my god, that is such a cute outfit. I like, how could I spin that for myself, you know? How could I do that for myself? And what I began to notice is that once you change your style, once I changed my style, right? And I've done this over the years a lot, right? Sometimes I backpedal, sometimes I'm like, I need to be voguing, you know, I need to advance. What I noticed is that when I begin to romanticize my life as these videos are saying on YouTube, what I notice is that I'm less insecure, I'm more secure. And I would attribute this to the fact that I have main character energy, right? And I've noticed this about people that romanticize their life, right? The YouTubers that romanticize their life, they seem very complete. And I would say this has to do with the fact that they're pouring into their cup, right? Like, for instance, I said that when you romanticize your life according to these YouTubers, they slow down everything. It's like everything is being slowed down significantly, especially their morning routine, right? So that they don't feel rushed, you know? Like, for instance, I know that the morning has a lot to do with why some people are groggy, you know? They feel unhappy because the morning they're practically killing themselves to go to work. It's like they have to be so quick, and they're rushing, and they're eating, and the food is falling out of their mouth, and they're just everything is quick because they have no time. They didn't plan their time, or the night before they didn't iron their clothes, or the night before they didn't plan their clothes, so that everything is being done the last 10 minutes that they woke up. So if you just woke up 10 minutes ago and you have to be in work in 30 minutes, okay, guess who's not gonna be really happy to wake up? Because now you have to be across town, which would take you 30 minutes, and you just woke up 10 minutes and you have 3 minutes to do everything all in one. You have 3 minutes to eat your food, 3 minutes to prepare everything, 3 minutes to just prepare everything you need to do for that, and then you just have no time. So I think that the romanticizing of your life and main character energy, the reason that this makes people so secure is that if you're taking 2 hours, like some of them, they took even more than that, right? They wake up at 4 a.m. By the time you go to work, you are in zen mode, right? Because you took 30 minutes to take a shower, then you took 30 minutes again to exercise, do some slow yoga if that's what you're into, or some cardio, whatever, and then your clothes is already organized, your food's already meal prep. So by the end of the 2 hours, and then you have like extra time to walk to work. It's like a person's dream when you romanticize your life, you know? That's what I really love about them, is that you really take your time to make yourself a focal point, right? So my last anecdote, I'm gonna put this last anecdote in here, and I'm gonna end the video because I feel like I should add an anecdote because I just kept referring to the other YouTube videos. So I feel like I should add an anecdote, as I was saying before, because I just kept referring to the previous YouTube videos, just to make this more personalized. And I'm gonna just go into my experiences again, so that you guys could get a feel for what I'm talking about, being like romanticizing your life, main character energy, right? Okay, so I'll go back. Well, I'll backpedal to 2008, 2009, because that's what I was talking to you about in my last video, right? So 2008, 2009, I told you guys how I got inspired by the Cullens, right? I was very inspired by them, right? They really inspired me, and not only them, they solidified my journey into style, and a lot of things changed for me that time. Although since then, I've since kept upgrading my style, because I feel like it really helps you when you romanticize your life, especially when it comes to style, when it comes to preparation, when it comes to slow pace exercising, when you make yourself the main focal point of your life, right? So then let's go back pedal. Let's go back. So let's go back to 2008, fall of 2008. So fall of 2008, I was getting inspired. I told you guys I was a tomboy before, right? I was a huge tomboy, but I was a huge tomboy, but I would have instances where I would really want to play with my style, but I just thought style was not for me, because I felt like it was just for everybody else, right? But lo and behold, 2009 came around, and The Secret came around, right? And the thing that I loved about The Secret is that The Secret taught you that things that you didn't think was possible for you, it would be now possible for you, right? So then in 2000, around that area, I was beginning to get into The Secret, right? And The Secret said, write down goals that you would like for yourself, right? There's some goals you would like to write down. So one of the goals I wrote down was, I want to improve my style. I want to get more, just get more into my life, get main character energy. And I wrote a whole bunch of other stuff, and I put the paper away, right? So then after that, January 2009, I remember my mom, she had these, like, a bunch of clothes that she kept piling up in the closet, right? And let me tell you something about my mom. One thing I can say about my mom is she likes to save on stuff, right? She's very thrifty with a lot of things, but one thing she doesn't play around is with style, right? My mom's very stylish. She loves to always be presentable, and so the fact that I was a tomboy all these years, she was never happy about it, right? She was always like, oh, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And I would never, like, I'd be like, oh, just leave me alone, you know? But when I got inspired in 2008, she just had this bunch of clothes, and my mom has a good sense of style, right? And it was just decent clothes from Sears and stuff, nothing too fancy, right? Nothing like, I don't know, like I know some people would have their mom buy stuff from Coach and stuff. My mom's not like that. She would just get it from normal stores, right? But she would just keep buying me stuff and buying me stuff and buying me so much stuff. And the thing is that all throughout high school, I would rotate between like 7 outfits, and there would be like huge shirts with holes in them. Like I didn't care. I just didn't give a damn in high school, right? But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back again. Back in 2008, I just kept getting inspired, right? And as I told you before in the last video, I just wasn't ready before, right? People kept telling me, you have to change your style, do something, you know? Play up with your style. And it wasn't until I was ready that I was ready, you know? And when I was ready, I became ready, right? Because as I said before, when the student is ready, then the teacher appears, right? So then I got inspired, and I remember the first thing I used to do is that I would just keep people watching, right? I would go through, like, my old school was in like Fashion District. It was near Fashion District. It was near Soho and all those. It was in the heart of Manhattan, right? So what I would do is I would take a seat like in the squares where the fashion thing, and I would just watch as the students from different neighborhood colleges, either like Columbia or Baruch or one of those, as they kept passing by, and I would just keep taking note. I'd be like, what is something that they keep repeating, right? What style do they keep repeating over? In that era, plaid was very, it was too much. It was a lot going on with plaid. People love to do plaid during that season, right? And another thing I noticed is that they would do monochromatic with like, they would do something with white and black where it'd be patterns. that style was very popular around that 2008, 2009, 2010 era. It would be like black and white patterns. It could be like polka dot, black and white, polka dot stripes. It just like black and white patterns, ship black and white with flowers. It was black and white with a lot of patterning going on, right? And they had a whole bunch of styles. Like Hot Topic was really popular during that time. So then I just kept looking, and it was like a light bulb went off, right? And this is what I'm gonna say, when my main character energy, I began to really romanticizing my life. The first time I started to do it was back in that era in 2009. So January, I just remember I saw the clothes in my mom's closet, and I just began to get really inspired. I'm like, I could do a whole bunch of things with this, you know. I could do a whole bunch of things with this, right? So I got really inspired. And what I started to do is that my favorite thing is something I call black on black on black on black on black on black crime, right? What I would do is I would take a black jean. I would take a black high boots or low boots or whichever. I would take this black fur coat. I would have a black shirt. Like, I just kept playing with black texture, black on black on black and black. And my jewelry would be simple, but I would just make sure that I just love the sleekness of always wearing black, right? So this era, I was just ready, right? So, and this time I also started to put myself out there a lot, right? I put myself out there a lot because it was just time, you know. It was time that I put myself out there, because before I was just more like in the trenches. I was always hiding, and this time I was like, no, it's time that I come out, right? It's time that I begin to show, you know, the flower blooming, right? So then I started to play a lot with style. I would buy a lot, because during that time, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the American system. In the American system, there's something called CUNY or SUNY. It's like a university of the New York City system, where, especially if you're doing your undergraduate classes, and if the classes are like, they're not like a lot of money, like if you didn't go to a prestigious private school like Columbia University, usually if you're doing like something in the city university, what you see is that they not only pay for your classes for the full time, like at the end of the semester they'll pay you back about a couple of thousand every semester. So every semester I would get a couple of thousand, right? And that's how I would keep funding what I was like I would keep funding everything that I love to do. That's how I would keep funding my main character energy, because they could pay you, if school would be free, and then they'd pay you back at the end of semester, like if you had any scholarships, because I had a bunch of scholarships, and whatever wasn't used towards your tuition, it would be paid back to you, right? It would be paid like you would get like a couple to 3,000 every semester, right? So that's what I would keep doing. Like for that semester, I got that fund the beginning of 2009. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna spend this to update my wardrobe, and that's how I really began to develop my style. And like I would just invest in anything that I love, right? I also began to like be more outgoing, right? I also began to be a lot more outgoing, although not really, because at heart I'm kind of introverted. Right? But during that time, yeah, at that time I was kind of introverted, so I would take calculated risk in getting to know people, right? And then what I would also do, like now since then I have become more introvert extrovert, like an equal balance. Before then I was more introverted than before, right? So now I'm a lot more extroverted, although I'm still introverted, but it's like an equal mixture. Okay, so it's a lot more balanced, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then finally, what I'm getting at with this anecdote is that I begin to have main character energy, right? And how I told you, I'm gonna wrap this up, is that before I was telling you, I would just get inspired by people. I would just be on the outside looking in, thinking about, oh, this is so great, what could I do with this? And I begin to step out and do it for myself, right? Because I was just ready. The teacher appeared, the inspiration began to take over, right? And finally, last and not least, is that I began to start to meet more people. Because when you invest in your life, right, when you're investing in your life, what I notice is that you get more outgoing, because you're not, like, if you're investing like your style, you're investing in your decorum, you're investing in your mornings, you get more secure, you get more about you. And you, like, I was always more secure by that time, because I always loved to big up other people. But it's just this level of security became way better, because I just, now I could say, you know, I was living a life that I really loved, such I could say I am right now, right? I'm living a life that I really love, because I'm investing into my mornings, I'm investing into the look, I'm investing into my school and everything is going, like, I'm just investing, right? So finally, when you have that main character energy, you keep on investing and pouring into the things that you love to do. And you'll notice that, like, a lot of times why people keep saying the grass is greener on the other side is because they're not investing in themselves, right? And if you're giving the main character energy, as these videos keep telling you, and romanticizing your life, you'll notice that a lot of times that energy you feel for other people, it'll begin to fall by the wayside, right? That Instagram where you always keep like, oh, what is she doing? You need to be updated on what your old schoolmates from high school were doing, or from college, or the people that your intermediate family, your cousins are doing. You notice it begins to taper away. Like, that especially happened to me at that time. And now, because I'm rapidly investing in my life, right? The more you keep like watering your grass, the more flowers is gonna come, the more greener the grass is gonna be, and you will have no time to look at your neighbor's grass, because you're so satisfied at tending your own grass, you know? That's what naturally happens. And that's what I love the concept of main character energy and romanticizing your life, right? And finally, one thing I actually wanted to do is, I wanted to say that, because people keep asking me this, and I'm just gonna address this once, and then I'm going to leave it off, and this is the only time I'm going to address this, because I feel like I don't owe anybody anything, but I feel like the way when people keep calling me, like, I had my cousins, they called me the other day. Like, sometimes my cousins, they're calling me and they keep asking me about the situation, and it's like, it's a little funny, because they keep going sideways. They're indirectly asking me about the situation, and I just feel like I should just clear it up, because it's like, give them a peace of mind, right? Whatever. Although I just want to clear up that I'm not the thing I'm about to mention. The thing I'm about to mention is it's purely just to cure their curiosity, right? Because my cousins keep asking sideways about this thing, and I feel like I should just like bury it, right? I should just bury it and just leave it, right? So then in 2009, right, I did meet somebody, right? I met somebody, right? And from the questions that my cousins keep asking me, it's like they know I met somebody, because they keep referring to it in like sideways, right? Not only my cousins, but people that I used to go to high school with, they like mention it like in a sideways thing. So I just want to put it to rest that I did meet somebody, that I met somebody, right? I did meet somebody who I really I met somebody, right, who I was really in love with, right? That was the first person that I really liked, right? It didn't work out, because it's like because I was kind of immature during that time. Like, I was doing a whole bunch of things that I was really immature, trying to make the person jealous and stuff like that. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. I'm just saying this because I'm a very private person in this sense. But I'm just gonna put my cousin and everybody that keeps asking me this question indirectly, is that that was the first person that I really liked, right? I really liked this person, right? And I think the feeling is mutual, but maybe it wasn't. But anyway, the situation blew up in my face because of how immature I was being. Like, my whole thing during that time was making the person jealous and just acting like a huge baby. And I did not know at the time, being my age, like I was only 20, 21. I was 20 going on 21. And I did not know that you're not supposed to keep trying to make a guy jealous, right? That's a very immature thing to do, and when you're doing that, it's like you're tap dancing in fire when you keep trying to make a guy jealous. That's very immature, right? So then I'm just gonna put this to rest, that back in that time when I was 20, I did fall in love with this guy, right? And it did not work out because I was being extremely immature, because what I was doing is I was trying to make the guy jealous, trying to bring him out of his character, and it blew up in my face, right? And as a result, I suffered a lot of heartache due to that, right? So I'm completely over that situation, and I just want to put that to rest, because every time like I mention something, like I'm talking about something indirectly about a relationship, I will have a cousin come to me and it's like they're trying to say something sideways at me, and it's like they're saying the thing sideways. Yeah, like my cousins, they keep asking me this, like all my cousins, my aunts, like they keep referring to somebody that I used to, like they keep referring to somebody that my mom kept talking, that I told my mom about from back then, the guy, the person, right? Anyway, I just, like, I find it's kind of funny when they keep like indirectly referring to this person. Like recently I did something where I changed something on my status, and then one cousin's like, oh, it's great, you know, it's great when people get with other people. And I was like, what is he referring to? It's like my cousins, they have this hopefulness concerning this person, right? All of them, a lot of them, and some of my aunts still keep referring to this person that I met way back then, right? But I just wanted to put this to rest, is that there is nothing going on between me and this person, even though it looks like there's something going on. There's absolutely nothing going on, right? In this dead, there's nothing there, right? And to put this to rest, the logistics is that I went up to the person myself. I told the person that I really found them interesting, that I wanted to get to know them better, right? But the thing is that was way back then when I told you guys I changed my style back in 2009. I was making myself main character energy, right? In fact, I'd be willing to bet that this person is living their best life, and they're also romanticizing their life, right? And they're also making themselves main character energy, right? And to wherever this person is, wish them the absolute best, you know, as I hope they would wish for me. And that's basically the video for today. You know, that was the anecdote that 2009 I began to change my style. I put myself out there. I told this really great guy who was like one of the main loves of my life that I really liked him, although that didn't work. Like what happened is that I began to be more outgoing based on that experience, because I learned from the first time I romanticized my life, in that I learned from the mistakes that I made before, like especially concerning my style. I began to upgrade my style, shift my style. In many ways, I began to take more calculated risks, because that was the first time I began to see that I could have main character energy, right? And so on that note, you guys, I'm hoping you guys can practice main character energy if it suits you. Learn how to romanticize your life. Again, my name is Kristani. This has been my video, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Okay, have a great time, you guys. See you next time. Bye.